about this. We have to talk about this.
We got a debrief.
We have to talk about this.
Yeah. We have to have an exit interview on this.
Yeah, it's a debrief. Yeah, it's this therapy session might be included in your insurance, so you might want to look into that. This is,
but it also might be out of your out of your zone.
Yeah,
the thing is out of your coverage because it definitely was out of our defense's coverage tonight.
That's true. Oh my goodness. So many things. All right, where do I begin? Let's start with the first half. That's good. That's a good place to start. Let's start about
the first goal.
yeah. Let's start about 27 seconds in, I believe it was.
22 seconds in?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that happens sometimes. I don't know why it had to happen tonight. It happens sometimes. Brad is, I don't think this is indicative of anything. I don't think like, oh, he has like dementia now or something. it happens sometimes.
It was a hospital ball.
Yeah.
It was a hospital ball that Miles Robinson gave him. He basically like bobbled that shit over to him, and he had to take a really weird touch, Guzan. And he probably should have cleared it. Hindsight is always 20/20.
Right.
But he gave it right to Carlos Hill.
That was one of my points to watch this game. Atlanta is looking. They specifically talked about it in one of their press conferences that one of their goals is to keep Carlos Hill away from goal as far away as possible if he ever has the ball, to close him down immediately. What did they not do twice this game? Close him down immediately and or give him the ball, which is just, I don't know why. Like, you give an MVP caliber MLS player the ball that close to goal. I mean, I don't know what you're asking for, but it's nothing good.
It's madness. It's I mean, and that's a big egregious mistake. Yes.
Yeah.
It can happen. It's kind of fluky. I mean, basically, their goals were mistakes from us.
Yep.
And like we cannot afford to do that. I mean, we just we can't give away 3 goals in every single match or 2 goals in every single match and expect to get very far. We're scoring enough. We're definitely scoring enough, but we just, by God, cannot close out games.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. So, after the goal, what else did I notice? I noticed a lot of incomplete passes, a lot of not making it to second balls, getting beat, pretty much like, which has been the case.
Losing our duels,
losing our one-on-ones multiple times in dangerous areas. Luckily, New England wasn't really able to capitalize on anything that like required real skill. They really had to just be gifted all their goals tonight. But we kept giving it to them in dangerous positions. I keep saying we need to be more, we need to be more on top of them immediately. Pineda's always talking about when we do the press and then we lose the ball in the opposing third, then we counter press and win the ball back as soon as possible. It didn't happen the first half. We kind of got bullied around a bit. However, we did have possession. Just so much possession in the 70%. And we were able to just kind of pass the ball around in the final third. But we were never really able to, it was just like kind of like in a safe area where we couldn't really do any damage. We were allowed to have the ball in that area and pass it around a whole bunch and then get it down to the wings once in a while. It was only until like the second half where they started trying to funnel more balls, like real quick, like straight line passes to Thiago or Yakimakis where they could bounce it off of them, do some hold of play, and then deliver it to someone else. And then that opened up the defense and created chances. First half, it was all down the wings. And down the wings got stifled. And man, I couldn't tell you how many times I was like yelling at the TV about Etienne. I don't care what anyone says. A lot of people were disagreeing with me. I thought he had a horrible game. Every time the ball touched this man, our attack died.
I said that about Aruju, but yes, I agree. Etienne on that side. Wolf came on and it immediately looked better.
Yeah, immediately.
He was more direct. Yeah, and he was trying to make things happen. Pulling the ball back. I mean, just quicker decision making, which is just not in Derek Etienne's locker right now. It's So he's ponderous. He's just
So Taylor Twellman on the TV was talking about how he's like, I'm so confused as if I'm Pineda, why am I having both my wingers be inverted? Why have that? Like, why don't? Because I noticed this with New England's winger was Jones, who barrels down the one side of the pitch. He was able to get one-touch crosses in at really hard pace, like very hard shots that were difficult to deal with in the mixer in the box. Like, all of our guys running down they had to cut out, they had to invertly cut in order to get anything on frame or a crossing or things like that. That wasn't just a lobbed up, that's easily defended kind of ball. I don't know. I feel like maybe, and Taylor Twellman said, maybe we look at putting Luis on the left, so when that ball gets to him, he can just one-time it in at pace and give the defense something to work with.
Switch. You saw the wingers switch wings later on in the match when it was Luis Aruju and Tyler Wolf. Although I thought Tyler Wolf looked better on the left.
I completely agree.
More dangerous, and so that was the thing. It's like, if you're gonna do that, do it earlier in the match.
Yeah.
Switch wings earlier in the match and mix it up, because yes, to your point, that's exactly what we did in the second half much better. Is those incisive balls through the middle, and Yakumakis, like he was making so many runs, ignored, and it's just like you gotta like he was getting visibly frustrated. I think the fans were getting visibly frustrated. Like, my guys, like, look up.
Yeah.
Don't look to the side. Look forward and look to the middle. The guy's making runs. Pass him the ball.
I think we're losing AJ. Is his phone already dying? Oh no, he's still there. Sorry, you cut out, AJ.
No. I just stopped. I just said in the ball, and I stopped off. So
all right, your video is
that's what ended.
Your video is struggling.
A little chop. Okay.
Yeah.
What can we do? Well, anyway, go on.
What else was there? So we talked about Derek Etienne. Luis did Luis things. A lot of effort, a lot of running. But when he got the ball in dangerous areas, he kind of flubbed it, as he typically does. Tonight we saw the return of something we always hate to see, is when he gets the ball in what he thinks is dangerous position, he skies it way out of bounds. Off frame, nowhere close, nowhere endangering the goal. And that's extremely frustrating to see from a high-caliber player like that. You got to at least trouble the goalkeeper, keep him honest, make him fear you, make the defenders have to then swarm you. Like if you notice, like the defenders don't really approach us until we start to get into the in towards the box. Then like 3 men jump on top of you. But outside of that, they just let Aruju walk around all day on the top of the box, and then he takes pot shots and misses completely. And I guess they're perfectly okay with that happening all day. Just look at what Miguel Berry did. They let him do that, and he's just like, well, I'm going to bury it. So.
I like the pun, but yeah. That goal. Maybe we'll chronologically talk about the goals, but definitely very cool. Yeah, but we'll get there. That first goal, it was more incisive play that actually got us into the box. 2 other shots that were a little wayward, but kind of on frame, and it worked out that Yakumakis was able to get a poacher's goal. And able to tow it in and get it past the keeper.
Yeah, quality touch on that. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what you need sometimes. You pull a goal back, you're able to get a little bit of momentum, and the momentum started to swing. And it was that second goal that Almada, that it's not completely on purpose, but the fact that he was able to chip it and it ricochets into goal, it's just like, he's on fire. It's just you give him sight of goal, he's going to pepper it.
Yeah.
I mean that free kick.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
That thing pinged that crossbar. They couldn't get any closer without going in.
Yeah, I think that was like karma, because you talk about puck luck a lot, right, in hockey. I feel like he got his goal back from just slightly missing that free kick that should have went in.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't think there's a more accurate free kick taker that I've seen, actually. And I don't know, man. Like, I watch a lot of football. Mm-hmm. He rivals James Ward-Prowse, I think, in accuracy on free kicks.
Well, he's
Southampton.
The guy's trying to set up to be the next Messi, right? So that's a good start.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a little bit more accurate than at some things than Messi, because some things that we know about Messi, he's not the greatest penalty taker. Mm-hmm. He in free kicks, he's really good, but man, I don't know. There's some bit of accuracy there, though.
Yeah, well, he does it with pace too. I feel like Messi's kicks, and admittedly, I don't watch like highlight reels of Messi all day, but a lot of his free kicks seem less pacey and more finessey. This was like his are just like laser shots.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was another one that was just an arrow aiming for the top upper 90 on the right, and he just missed. And it was he basically, I mean, he's putting the team on his back.
Yeah,
like, that much is sure. The issue, I feel like, is are the rest of the team, are they just deferring to him a lot more? And it probably is the case. I mean, if he's around the ball, they let him have it.
Yeah.
Which, he's gonna put quality balls, spreading them out or put them in, and it's just, it's, man, what else can be said about Thiago Almada? It's just, man, puts us in some really good positions to get results, but our defense cannot keep them. But and then we get the lead, which that goal, that ball over the top, it's a very dangerous ball. They can't clear it. Miguel Berry. I take back some of the things I said about Miguel Berry. Ball striking is not one of his issues. That much is clear. Like, that chest down on that half volley, cool. He struck that thing sweet.
Yeah, and his little cook in the corner.
Yeah, the little flipping the burger or whatever it was, but
he's frying
he
it
was
up.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like we had a late winner for all of I don't know, like 4 or 5 minutes maybe, and we just cough up leads like it's like it's in style, like we're like we're needing Vicks, like we're just bad at we're just really bad at keeping the opposing team out of good positions to score. Mike Conti put out a stat that it's like we've allowed something like I gotta read it because it's more pointed, but it's like 52% of the shots against us. Something has stopped only 52.5% shots taken against them this season.
Damn, that's damning.
That is bad.
Yeah.
So basically,
sounds
47.5% of our shots are not stopped.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a team that concedes second most in the entire league. So.
Yeah. We're allowing players to get in some mood.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's I'm of two minds when it comes. Like, obviously, the Carlos Hill giveaway in the beginning is ridiculous, and that has its own diagnosis. The other ball was like another far post kind of knock in. He crashed the net, beat two defenders, and Guzan to get there. I mean, that's fine. If someone's gonna score against us like that, I'll accept it because that's a decent goal. It's a good cross, crashed the net. You just got there before our defenders and got a foot on it. Guzan may have been able to do something, but like it is what it is. At the end of the day, that's forgivable. At the end of the day, it should just be one goal for them, and that's it. That's really what it should have been. Letting them score the third one obviously was terrible, but I mean, what happened, right? It's a attempt at clearing the ball with a header. I forget who it was, like Juan Prada or someone was trying to clear it with a low, like he dove down low to get his head on it, which maybe shouldn't have done that. Maybe should have just blasted it out with his feet. But he dove down low to head it, and it landed perfectly right where Carlos Hill was. I mean, obviously, the guy who, tried to clear it, his goal, his intention was absolutely not to put it on Carlos Hill's foot with 1,000, minutes to set up his shot. It was not his intended purpose to do that. So when it happened, it's like, oh, that's just bad luck. That's just terrible luck that it fell to an MVP caliber player in that position. I mean, you try everything to do to prevent that, and there it is. What are you going to do? It's not like he went, oh, I should have thought about not giving it to Carlos Hill. Oh, maybe I should have considered that. No, obviously he did. It's just, and of course he's going to bury it when he gets that attempt. I mean, again, he's one of the best players in the league. So it's just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to be like, oh, yeah, let's watch the film and go, yeah, he really should have just not headed it to the other team. It's like, well, it's not like he intended on doing that. So it's just individual mistakes and bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying, he needs to clear it with his foot. If it's low, you might as well just punt it out. And,
yeah, maybe enough time to line up a head for it. You should probably...
Yeah.
Just kick it.
Exactly. Exactly. If you have time to go down with your head, yeah. But it's also this. I mean, credit to Carlos Hill for getting in those positions.
Yeah.
Like that's why he's an MVP caliber position or player, because he knows how to position himself to be in the right place at the right time. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious what his XGs are, because it's like it could be closer to 1. Like it's basically better than a penalty. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Like both of those shots, hard to miss. Really hard to miss.
Yeah, but those are gifts.
It is. Yeah. Also, Carlos Hill with his right, which I mean, left-footed player, so it is one of those like I think I saw on social media that they were like, oh man, Carlos Hill scored with his right foot. So he might be a very one-footed player, but you give him a just high percentage chance like that.
I mean, Brad Guzan probably could have done better there, but
yeah,
But that's another thing. Like he should have never had that opportunity. So
no. Yep.
All right, let's take a look at chat before we get to the finale of what happened with well, we kind of already did, but we haven't really fully talked about. I mean, we kind of did with Miguel Berry's just Golazo. Let's just talk about it real quick and just get that done and bowed up with. Yeah, I mean, like, where did that come from? I mean, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it a couple of times when he's taking shots. He can get some strength behind that ball. He can really kick it. And every time he has flubbed it, it's been like, okay, he didn't get the shot he wanted. We know what his maximum potential, what his power is. So, like, so many times he's just gotten the ball and it just hasn't been the way he's wanted it. And this tonight, and in a couple other times, he's had it the way he wanted and he was able to release some really, really powerful shots. So, I mean, this time it was a worldie, so there's that. Hopefully next time he can just have, a more reliable shot that has that same power and he has the time to line it up and take it. And he's not hurried and pressured and forced to take a poor shot and then it just flubs again. Because that's just what's going to happen. Unless he has like a perfect setup, He looks like he's going to flub, but he can't. He's not like a Giakoumakis who can just make, or like Joseph Martinez who can just make a really stellar shot out of like completely nothing.
Yeah, to be fair, I think Barry's ball striking here, I think he showed his prowess, and it's possibly up to par with Giakoumakis' ball striking. But I think the issue is for Miguel Berry is that he largely is anonymous most of the time, and he doesn't get service where he's in the box to be able to take shots. Nor is he, I think, a good enough anticipator of where the ball ends up, and so that's kind of the issue with him is that and it's why probably he's a backup striker, because Giakoumakis, like, just the way he's able to really know where the ball might end up and really anticipate being in the right spot. That's what makes him special. And so he didn't get to break Taylor Twellman's record, but I think it's 6 and 7, still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And so he's our leading goal scorer at 9. Imagine if he had played the other half of those minutes.
Yeah.
What goal run would he be on? And what goal total?
Yeah, especially because we were feasting on teams on the kind of like quote unquote easier portion of our schedule in the beginning of the year.
Right.
All right. So it's,
we have that. Yeah. Just before we go to the chat, because that whole thing, I think you guys are discussing it in in the Discord, which is basically we have the hardest run in for our rest of our schedule for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, we have the hardest matchup against the other teams for the rest of the season versus any other team. Any other team has a statistically weaker schedule going forward. They kind of got their hard matches out of the way early on. We did the opposite.
Yeah. So, like I've said, man, we might be fool's gold. Like, it's
got to win at home.
It's not looking. Yep, exactly. you have to make it a fortress. You cannot drop points at home, and we've done that too often.
Yeah,
this season.
Thank God for an expanded playoff allotment this year. So, and we might be able to squeak in that way. So let's look at some of these comments. Nyman says, "I think we need a younger goalkeeper. Brad Guzan is too old now. He can't save no mo." He could save once in a while. A couple games ago, he did some pretty cool saves. But yeah, tonight, to your point, it was he was just not feeling it. He was not able to shot stop really well, and he just wasn't clicked on. He just was passing it to the wrong players, etc. So, Ariel says, "Goose, 2 big mistakes." Yep. Excuse me. Baraka says, "Questions needs to be asked about Guzan." Yeah, a lot of people on Guzan tonight. Elliot says, "Barry got his goal." Yep. Tie is a fair result. I don't think tie is a fair result at all. I think we absolutely should have won that 3-1, and it's a crying shame. It's a crying shame we did not beat them 3-1. Everyone fell asleep on the last minute. I mean, as seemingly they always do. But again, like I said, I think I covered this pretty well. That I don't really call falling asleep the ball just miraculously landing on Carlos Gil's feet like that. They tried to clear it, and then he just did what a MVP caliber player does and make you look silly. You just can't let him be in that position, and we did. And it wasn't that we weren't, lack for trying. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I don't know what to say.
And there's a little bit of this too, where when we conceded that goal, it was right at the moment that we subbed in Santiago Sosa, and at that point we had gone a little bit more attacking, and essentially on a set piece, like you bring in guys on a set piece, they're not in game speed yet. It's and plus at that point I think we were booing the ref a little too heartily, probably.
The ref was on something tonight.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll read more of the chat.
Yeah. Let's see. Ingest says Etienne is bad. I mean, I don't think he's bad. I just think whatever we have him trying to do is not working. Jack Dickens says Etienne is very poor. I think Wiley walks straight into his position when he's back from U20s. Absolutely, I think either Wolf or Wiley can easily take his spot because he's shown literally nothing. I mean, he had one good touch that was the beginning of a string that led to Giacomakis' goal. So there's that. But outside of that, he was abysmal. It was like a tragic comedy.
It's this right now. His strengths are in the build-up. In the final third, it's rough right now. Like he's pressing. That much is true and obvious. And I have questions about his ball striking because there was the chance from 10 yards that he probably at least should have gotten a foot on it.
Yeah.
But then there are some other moments where it's just like his dribbling is fine. His playmaking ability seems fine to a degree of he could find the open man or try to put a ball in the box, but it's.
I also think he takes too long to make decisions too.
Exactly.
I mean, he gets closed down problem. And then sits there and goes like, "Well, I had no options." It's like, well, it's because you took 12 years to find options, and that's why everyone closed you down. What did you think about him?
Exactly.
Like kind of flopping a lot tonight with a lot of dives.
Yeah, it's a sign of somebody that's pressing, trying to make things happen, but isn't getting the run of the results of his performance. And so, I think that much is obvious that he needs a goal, he needs an assist, he needs something to get him going. But in the meantime, Tyler Wolff looks dangerous. Came on and immediately started to make things happen. Caleb Wiley as well, when he's on, he makes things happen. He's got that. That's the thing. It's like Derek Etienne isn't slow, but he's that kind of like the opposite of Miguel Almiron, where basically, some people look faster with the ball, right? And how we say that about him. Derek Etienne looks slower with the ball.
Yeah. Let's see. Bryant Lee says, that's what they need to do. We can't always drive into the box. We need to take shots outside the box. I mean, and to be fair, Amada tries to do that, and it seems dangerous. Josetu's taking a couple and seems a little dangerous. I like his ability with that. When Aruju does it, it's horrific, so I don't know what the heck's going on with him with that. Dino says, Wolf needs to be starting until Wiley returns. From a creativity standpoint, it looked a lot better today, but we still need to work on finishing. The defense needs work, but the ref was very shambolic. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Wolf, I think, should start.
And let's talk about this ref.
Oh, yeah.
While we're on this topic. Because, oh boy, yes, Derek Etienne was flopping. But were the yellows that we got warranted?
Well, those persistent infractions against Carlos Gil at one point, which I don't really. And it's like, why do you give it? I don't know. Gave it to GG. It's whatever.
Yeah, there's 3 of them that are questionable. The Guzan one is the most.
Yeah, we're time wasting. Like. You got us. You figured it out.
Why would we be time wasting? We're at home. It's 2-2, and Giacomakis is down. After he had to crawl. He had to crawl to get up.
That's just.
And it's just like so. The ref pretty much. I don't think he was even looking at the situation.
Yeah.
But he just instead looked at Brad Guzan holding the ball and gave him a yellow.
Yeah, he has lost the plot. So many calls that were against us that seems silly. I mean, we didn't give him much favors with some of our guys flopping a bit, but still, I think it was, the balance of the fouls were significantly against us. I can actually look up how many there were tonight.
It's also that. It's like Amara, his his yellow is kind of soft. What was it? Luis Araujo, he got a yellow. That was weird.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't. It didn't feel very warranted. And there was another foul where it's like it wasn't called for a yellow, but it was like man was already falling down, and we get a foul called on our player for what?
We had 14 fouls called on us to 6 for them. 4 yellow cards for us, 2 for them.
Yeah, it's like why would we be trying to break up play? Right? Like we want it to be free flowing. We want it to be like it's not like the Revs were putting themselves in some really dangerous counterattack situations. It's like barely that.
Yeah.
That essentially the moments that they had were, and for their goals, were moments of our mistakes.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I mean, they're 20 some odd percent possession. It essentially is like they, besides the mistakes, I can't really even remember how many like really dangerous chances that they had from open play.
Yeah. Let's see. So they had 4 shots inside the box, 1 outside the box. They had 2 overall big chances. They had 5 total shots. 3 shots on target.
Right? Yeah. The eye test passed the stat test.
Yeah.
And it's just like those 2 big chances, I'm betting are Carl Seal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so here's the statistics I really wanted to talk about. This is something that was bugging me during, while watching specifically the first half. And I guess based on this, I saw it a little less in the second half because the urgency seemed to always creep out towards the end for us. But we had 12 out of 27 dribbles at 44%. They had 8 out of 14 at 57%. They had better dribbling percentage. We lost possession 135 times. They only lost at 117. Granted, we had way more possession. Duels won, we had 38. They've won 45. They were beating us to our duels a lot more. We had more aerials won, but we were like kind of a taller team, so there's that. But I think it really comes down to duels won for me, because that's the battle of the midfield, right?
And I think Abaro's doing his job. It's, probably Hostetu a little bit. I mean, it's just, I don't think that's his forte.
They have, also, to compile onto this, too, they had 20 tackles, we only had 11. They had 10 interceptions, we only had 7. So it just, again, with this narrative of they seem to want it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think there is that. I mean, obviously they have more defensive chances to make, too,
right,
when they don't have the ball as much.
When they're pinned, yeah.
Exactly. So, that stat also can be a little misleading to that degree. But it is that. Like, we were second to a good number of balls. And, like, ultimately, like, if we're going to need to and want to dominate at home, we need to dominate those stats.
Yeah.
We need to be much better in, just really being more hungry, because it comes down to work rate, and it comes down to players also needing and wanting and knowing where they need to be. And I've been harping on this. It's like, I don't think that players know where they need to be positioned.
Yeah. There are some players that apparently, I think, are shifting out in ways that are making the other players confused about how to cover for that. So some of them are just maybe doing a little too much, and then it forces the others to try and make up for that, and that throws them off. And then all of a sudden, it compiles in that way. The last stat I'm going to bring up is the crosses. Like in the beginning of the first half, we did do a lot of crossing. We nailed 0 of them out of 12. They nailed 2 out of 9, so at least they landed 2 out of their 9 crosses. again, and I was saying this in the beginning, it seemed like we were going down the flanks in the first half, and we were just pumping these errant balls in that just went nowhere. And it's just like, you can only do that so often before, obviously, like, the second half, we switch it up and we start trying to go more direct down the center, and that paid dividends. I don't know. Maybe it's a tactic. Maybe it's like a conditioning thing. Like in tennis, you will what's called build a point. So you'll be like, I'm going to hit it to the left, and then I'm going to hit it light, and then it forces them to stay far right on their side, and then approach the net, and then all of a sudden you smash it far right to their far left, and there's no way in hell they're getting there because you've attracted them to the point of the court where you want them to be to finish them. Now, and this could be a similar tactical thing where you're like, we're conditioning them to think we're only going to go down the flanks, be prepared for flank attacks, then all of a sudden we hit you down the center in the second, and then they're not ready for that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Pineda way too much credit.
I think that's too much credit, but I like the metaphor and analogy. But I think it's this. If you can, and you should be that type of team that scores early, often, and tries to be as incisive and dangerous and as direct, usually, as possible early in the match to get that score line that is favorable, especially at home. Because, I think we've shown when we have the lead early anyway, and can put away teams, they're more apt to have to come out, and that's where you have seen those 4-0 score lines.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we have to come back from 2-0, it's a lot harder, and when it is these type of games where it's like a shootout, we're usually drawing these matches, and we're conceding one late, and that's just why is it, right? But we can delve into it.
Yeah. A couple more, because there's actually quite a few more posts, so let's get a couple of these in. Connor Watson says, I have a question. Does Pineda change how this team plays? We weren't good in the first half, only got momentum after New England took their foot off the gas.
I didn't really see a ton of change. Maybe the actual thing that was said was to be more incisive down the middle, and more direct. But you never know. I don't know. It's like it kind of was after the half, so I would assume that he saw what the rest of us were seeing, and that hey, Giacomakis, he's making all these runs. You guys need to get him the ball.
Yeah, and even when he poked it in, there was some people talking. Stronk was actually talking in the Discord chat saying how Atlanta did everything to not pass it to Jaco that entire play, and it just happened to fall to him. And so it wasn't even the desired effect was to get it to him. It just happened to fall to him. So it's I don't know. Who knows why they're not? It's just they can't. I guess they can't find him. They don't think it's going to be a good ball, but I don't know. I think just to answer his question, the only change that I saw that did anything was just the sub with Tyler Wolff. That's really the only change, the inflection point of the game for me. Outside of that, I don't really think he did any real changes to change anything. Really comes down to me wanting it. Maybe they had a a halftime pep talk that pumped them up a bit. Who knows? Ingest says sell Etienne during the window. I feel like
not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. Yeah, I feel like that would be we don't want to exactly be a. I'm of two minds of that. It's do you want to be known as the club that you don't perform, you're immediately gone? I don't think that would shy away a lot of good players from coming here. But you also are well, now you're saying to everyone, you're a big club that doesn't take nothing. You got to be really good, and you got to put up to be here. So there's that. So I don't know how I feel about that as much.
Yeah, there is that, but then there is also players can and need an acclimation period. So he has a career year under toe, Etienne, but that's the issue is is it a fluke, or are we just not getting the best out of him? it's a big question because 9 goals and 6 assists is nothing to shake your stick at, but in what context did he get those type of goals? I think that's what I think we need to really see if we can get the best out of him. Luis Araujo, that's kind of a lost cause essentially because he's gone. So it doesn't really matter if we get the best out of him because basically, I think we rock with him until the wheels fall off, until he's gone, and use up all the minutes that we can with him if we need to. But yeah, I'm excited to see what we bring because it's probably pretty easy to get better than Luis Araujo's output.
Yeah. All right, and with that, we're gonna have our I think only guest tonight with Niall. He's coming on to give us his impression of the match. Feel free to give us what you saw tonight and what your opinions are on it.
Oh, man. I don't know where to start. It's like the way this team's like playing right now, it's just I don't know where to start. You mean you dig yourself into a hole and then you dig yourself out of the hole potentially and then you re-dig yourself into the hole. That's just, once again, it's just a frustrating performance in my opinion. I think that we kind of just gifted New England the opportunity to get a point from this match. Really, we should have been the ones that got the W. But once again, it's defensive mistakes. Brad Guzan probably had his, I think, worst performance in that Atlanta United shirt tonight. He just gave away the ball. He just did not look confident. And also, I think offensively, we also need to take our chances better. For me, Derek Etienne's has not been it. It's just like he's not sort of living up to what we signed him for in terms of like the experience and what he can sort of provide. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely questions, and we have a week to get this stuff sorted out before we play LAFC, which I am not comfortable about playing. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, Buonga is going to have probably one of his best games against us. I'm already thinking about that. So.
You think they're going to play him for like a full 90 minutes?
I mean, it depends. I mean, either way, even if it's not like a full starting lineup for LAFC, I just don't feel confident. It's like right now, it's just if we are able to perform this badly against New England, then I can only imagine what the case would be against LAFC.
To be fair, New England Revolution, they were third in the East.
That's true.
Coming in, so they're right. So they're no slouch. On paper, probably should have lost this game if we were looking at just the conference, right? No, I mean we're at home. With the way I think the stats looked and the way our mistakes were, we probably should have gotten 3 points.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I agree.
They're no slouch, but the thing is, like, besides the goals that we gifted them, they did not really have that much of. They didn't really have that much like of any business like getting anything from this match. Like we should have
put them to the sword. Yeah,
we should have put them to the sword. We're regardless, like we're the better team. Like if you look at the
roster,
the
run of play, exactly.
Yeah,
in the run of play, we played them off the park. Let's just be real. Like their chances aside, that they took really well, we played them off the park.
Yeah, I mean, and that just comes down to finishing your chances. You have to finish your chances, and even after they scored the first goal, we were creating many chances, but we couldn't just convert. And that is just the one thing that is probably one of the most frustrating things, because if you put those chances away, I don't think the game is as close as it was.
Oh yeah, it affects the game state dramatically.
Yeah.
New England start just buckling. Yeah, absolutely. Here's a question from Ingest 101. He says, "Is everyone still high on Brooks Lennon? I just don't think he's accurate offensively. I think he had a rough game tonight. Maybe the last couple games he had some rough showings, but I still think overall he's been very good. His statistics bore out that he's top 3 in the league in terms of like assist creation or something like that. So he's doing well. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
especially from a right back. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. He's like, okay, maybe he's not been at his best, but he still like works his ass off pretty much. Like he's 100% one of those guys that's going to do everything to try to.
Yeah,
help.
This we know. Yeah. The American work rate with Brooks Lennon is top notch.
He's not the best, but he's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And like, it can't all just be on Lennon too. Like there also has to be other chance creators as well. I think also Amada's maybe struggled a bit. I mean, he did score the goal today, which to be fair was a good goal for him, but he's not at his best. But even though, to be fair, even not at his best, he's still a pretty solid player. Yeah. But there just has to be more all around better performances. Like I said at the beginning, Derek Etienne's not been doing it for me. For the next match, I would start Tyler Wolff, see what he can do, see what he can give you. Because for me, he looked very good today, and it just had me questioning like why Pineda would not start him. You know?
Yeah. One question. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean it is that. It's like Tyler Wolff. I mean, I think he's getting his bearings. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think in that sense, I would have probably been a little bit surprised to actually see him in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah.
But I think after tonight, it's like, it's almost a no-brainer now. It's like, you got to see what we have in this kid because he's scoring goals, then he's doing it for you to a degree as well. And he's not sulking. He's not, pressing. He's not trying too hard to make things happen like Derek Etienne is. I think Derek Etienne, he probably deserves a little bit of time on the bench to see what he needs to work on to be able to get back into the team.
And we have a live update right now. We go live to LAFC losing 1-0 in Mexico against Leon. So that might have something to do with a schedule involving us in the future. So I've also learned that Robinson was the one who did that low header to try and get the ball out. So uncharacteristic of him. I mean, he's not been doing. This has definitely not been his best season for us.
No. I mean, the first goal also for New England Revolution was also on him as well because that bobbled ball, he kind of chipped it back to Guzan. That's on him because he didn't need to do that.
He's like heads up, old man.
It's just keep it on the floor, and then so Guzan has a better shot of knowing what's in front of him.
Yeah.
I think that added to it was that he had to, change his eye line a little bit, so he had no idea what was in front of him.
So this might be the comment of the night. I have to read this out. It's very funny. Baraka says, "We lead the league in goals scored, but we also lead the league in goals conceded. Serious question needs to be asked because, quote, the more we fuck around, the more we find out."
Yeah. We were finding out a good bit about our defense in that they are allowing really good looks. And you can possess the ball all you want, but you give them 3 good chances with good sights on goal. I think most teams in MLS are going to score them. And that leads to the frustration. By the way, my phone is really going to die. So, if I cut out at any point, that's why.
All right. And we will keep chugging on. And when we do the wheel, I'm sure it will absolutely land on you and it won't be sabotaged at all by me. So. All right. So let's go some more of these. Elliot Bevan says the defensive midfield need to do better. Kevin says we need some changes. Garrett Sims says even though we had a comeback, I never thought that the team played particularly well. We just seemed to force our way through with 3 goals. The midfield was frustratingly static, aside from Almada. Kevin also says, do you guys think that Pineda is on the verge of getting sacked?
No, I think that's still way too early. I think it's still... I get the frustration, but I think that's still way too early to decide that. The thing about MLS is that things can change very quickly. With teams, you can be right now, heck, Atlanta United's not doing well, but just just a couple games, like if you find wins, then that can easily turn your fortunes around. So I don't think that sacking Pineda would be right now the right choice. And plus, who would be out there that you would have to replace him as well is something that you have to think about. And the thing is, like, also would a different manager do better with the players at this disposal? And the thing is, like, the thing about like this club is that it's still in a place where the players they're still like developing pieces. This team is still a work in progress. So I think that there has to be sort of a way for, let's see what this team does in the summer, see what players they sign, and then I think we can have a better, clear picture of what the direction this team is going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said, man. Yeah, it's that. It's like it's a very forgiving league. The difference that a head coach can actually make is pretty marginal in this league. But we also should note, has any player gotten better under Pineda?
Yeah, I think Wiley maybe.
Wiley, but that's the thing. It's like that's just playing him.
And that's also just a guy who's gonna develop regardless of what scenario he's in.
Right. So beyond him and Almada, who's already
he was gonna develop regardless. Like he's just
exactly. So like it's fairly obvious in the pretty much almost 3 years. I'm hard pressed. Like, who has gotten better from Pineda's coaching?
Yeah, but it's about how they grow as a person, AJ. You have to understand.
Yes, Vibes FC coach.
Yeah,
totally. He is absolutely Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So Strong wants to do a bit of a mic drop comment here. He says it's obvious that not everyone plays for the same team. There are 2 teams within Atlanta. That's what's up.
Interesting. What are these 2 teams?
I think he probably thinks the players that are focused on doing what works pragmatically, and then the players that are trying desperately to commit to a system that's just not working. And you see the pragmatism kind of shine through a bit with some plays that are just kind of, as one of the other commenters said earlier, kind of seemed like they were forced through. Like they just like brute forced it through. I don't know if that's exactly what he was talking about, but that is what he said.
It's fascinating.
I guess it's up for interpretation.
Yeah, it is. But I think he's on a really good thought train there, and it's probably a little bit of that, where it's like players that are playing for the team, players that are playing for themselves. And there's a dichotomy, and I think that's the issue. You have some players that are looking for their next move, / playing hero ball, / trying too hard to make things happen and make themselves look good.
Yeah. To kind of elucidate what he was talking about, it was Wolf and Robinson that actually gave decent passes to Giakoumakis inside the box. Let that sink in. Wolf and Robinson. Almada couldn't, despite his skill and playmaking ability. Neither could Aruju. It's obvious that not everyone plays for the same team here.
Yeah, I think Arujo at this point, I think everybody is just in the mindset that he's gone. He needs to be somewhere else. We need to sign a new player. So I think part of that's just the mindset that he's technically gone, even though he's still part of the team.
And that's the thing. It's like Arujo, he works hard on and off the ball in build-up. He's actually quite good in build-up and keeping possession for us times. But it's that final third, and he's an attacking player. He's judged being an attacking player, and he just isn't good enough. that much is abundantly clear.
Yeah. So everyone else, please get your questions and comments into the chat before AJ signs off involuntarily.
Yeah, it might be.
But let's get your last thoughts, Niall, on the game tonight and what you hope to see moving forward.
I don't even know what to put into words. I mean, I was at the game actually, and there were times where I was just yelling in frustration, then ecstatic when Barry scored that goal. I was like, oh man, we might as well walk out of here with 3 points, and then nope, we don't.
Who do you blame for Carlos Seal's last goal?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to put blame on just one player, but I think as a whole, you cannot give him that much space. You can't give him that much space. You know what he's capable of. I think it's just poor mental strength. I think in those moments you have to be mentally strong to understand that, okay, we have to close out this game, and the team was not, clearly. But overall, I think just a frustrating game, a game that felt like a loss, considering that, we could have walked out of this game with 3 points that would have helped us climb up the table a bit. And now what I hope to see from this next game is I hope to see better sort of defending, honestly. Just better defending, because if we defend like the way we did today against LAFC, man, we are going to be in a world full of hurt.
I mean, it's like clean sheets are another universe away. It's insane.
It's like
it's just a construct at this point. What is a clean sheet, really?
Yeah.
Nothing that we know.
Yeah,
doesn't exist.
The world may never know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I think I want to see a reaction from this team, considering that 3 points was basically lost at just the dying minute of the game. And I think that's the frustrating part. You literally had the 3 points in the palm of your hand, and then just suddenly you just let it slip. And that's unacceptable. If for a team that wants to make the playoffs, that wants to, potentially try to make a run for trophies, you can't let that sort of slip in. And that's the difference between a good team and a bad team.
I was thinking, I was expecting to see Pineda, stand up and, break, his clipboard or something over his knee when that went in at the end. You can't write that stuff. It's what are you guys doing? We had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would. I mean, jeez.
Pineda's just sitting there going, what do I have to do?
Yeah. It's I think, yeah, the players deserve hair dryer treatment after that game. It's just they need to know it's not acceptable. I mean, it's just this happens way too often, and I think that's what it is. It's the coaching staff being a little soft.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
just to follow up with that, it reminds me of a quote that Pineda said, that he's going to bench players that don't show urgency and don't show up the next game. So I wonder if you'll see any changes for next game from this one. I mean, it's I feel like he loves, he's very, what's the word?
He knows the right thing to say for paper talk, but when it comes down to actually being hard on your players or, doing the hard thing, I have my doubts.
We'll see what Sam Jones says in an interview with him, because I know he's going to be well, you said you were going to do this and you didn't, and now I don't know what to tell you.
I saw a tweet that said Miguel Berry retired from Felipe, but is that it's supposed to be a joke, or I'm just kind of confused by that tweet.
I'm sure he just doesn't want to hear anything Felipe has to say about him over not scoring for whatever's 33 games or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you just have to basically, I think you just have to try to get a result at LAFC. At this point, you've just been giving away way too many points. Orlando, New England, and now you have to see what you can do against LA, and that's easy. And that's easier said than done. But at this point, you'd have to try to see what you're made of. And then the next 2 home matches, I think those are must wins for me.
I have a fake bet going on with 5 takes for the 5 stripes on Twitter, and he thinks we're gonna beat LAFC. If we're gonna have one away win this year, it's gonna be that one. And I said, I don't know about that one, Chief. So we'll see. Hopefully he can come on the show and try and rehabilitate that take next time.
Not after today, man.
I don't know. Yeah, it's especially after if they lose this final. Yeah, I don't know. Like they're gonna come back like hungry and having a point to prove, and that's the thing. Like we're a pretty good like trap game type of team, probably. Like on the road, we probably this is a game that we should lose.
Yeah.
Actually. Like against LAFC, like if you put bets on this, you should probably bet against us.
Yeah.
But we know how to put the ball in the back of the net, so this is a trap game if anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Niall. Thanks for coming on. We're looking forward to seeing you again in some of the next episodes.
Yep. Hopefully a better result.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Dude.
All right. See. Take care, my guy.
Always good to see you now.
So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play Mark's forfeit that he had to put up. So this is a video of him putting together what he considers a special talent for the audience. So I don't really even know what that means. So we're in this together.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Mark. Hope all of you are doing well today. I believe I've been owing you guys a special talent courtesy of the Wheel of Fortune or Misfortune, if you're Mike, of course. But all right, when's the last time you guys have jump roped? I'm gonna go at least 1 minute without messing up.
So he's gonna do 1 minute without messing up of jump roping. That's his goal.
Okay. So I have like 3 or 4 minutes left on my battery.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna be, what is this? Like 30 more seconds, or a minute. 1 more minute, actually. All right, he's got around 10. Oh, nope, he kind of messed up that time. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, messed up on 11. There he goes, starting up again, starting strong. All right, he's getting in a bit of a groove. Okay, this might be it. All right. Oh, that one kind of messed up there. That's okay. It's only 3. I don't know how many mistakes you guys would make doing this. Look at this guy putting his body on the line for you. And he's a tall guy too, so this isn't easy. He's moving a lot here. All right.
That must have been pretty close.
He said that must have been pretty close at the end. All right. Well, that was Mark's forfeit. And before we lose AJ, we are going to spin the wheel between him and I and see what it lands on, as well as what forfeit we have to do next time. And AJ, I'm happy to tell you it's on you today.
Oh, lucky me.
Lucky you. Let's see what you get to do. All right, everyone. I hope everyone's praying for what they personally want AJ to do. Oh, guess what it is?
It's more Nickelback, isn't it?
Nope, it's Red Ass Game again.
Oh.
So this time I think we're going to have Mark take the shot. As everyone knows, if you're a consummate watcher of this channel, I came very close to hitting him. It went right over his back. Yeah.
You skimmed. Yeah.
Almost. I get a little nervous. I made him get into a false sense of security with really missing my first 2 trial shots. And he started feeling real confident about himself.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I guess we'll do it before the LAFC match. So.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
So Any sort of like little chat stuff before we?
Yeah, I'll read a couple of these real quick. Strong says, I'm confident Pineda will resolve the above-mentioned issues by the time the next game comes. Kevin says, is there any update on Alonso? He's been injured for quite a while now. Yeah, I think actually a few of those players...
back.
Yeah, I think a few of those players are actually going to be starting to be available soon. So keep an eye out for the availability reports. I think we're going to start seeing some names come off of the out list. Brian says, too much focus on ball possession instead of soccer defensive fundamentals. Yeah, we definitely had the possession game down, and we did not have the defense down. That's for sure. All right, and Strong says, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we will see you next time, Strong. AJ, would you like to... Oh, one more thing before we go. Just want to say, if you can like, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel, if you're watching and you haven't already, be great. Also, if you tweet out this stream or any of our videos, we will retweet you. So please make sure to do that. We have a couple fun things coming down the pipe soon. So please keep your eyes out for that on our channel. Some cool little media pieces. And, yep. AJ, anything else?
Yep. So we've got a sponsorship with Zuma, a football boots company from the UK, coming soon, maybe tomorrow. Check out the socials. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up.
You got picked up by a fan. All right. Well, I'll just end it there. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll see you next time, and hopefully we can talk about a W instead of another frustrating tie or loss. So.